Okay.
What is going on? What's going on, everybody? We are
What's
live.
up? Hello?
Welcome to the third episode of Sports Bicker. I got my man Nico right here, Philosophy King, and we about
Hey.
to go over some recent news, man. First off, you already know the George Pickens trade and shook up the sports world and everything, and now you guys got the NFC East looking like the best division, got the best wide receiver duos, got the Super Bowl champion Eagles, and you already know we got Jaden Daniels over there. So how do you feel about this trade? Like, do you think George Pickens is gonna make a difference? Like, how do you feel about do you think this makes the Cowboys better, Nico?
Man, I I mean, this is one of those things like on paper, yeah, it makes them look better, right? I mean, they get an extra weapon. I think
Mhm.
they were looking to add another top wide receiver. They were hoping, I heard a name a lot during the draft, was the guy from Arizona. I think he was from Arizona, right?
That the
Uh,
that the Cowboys was looking for.
yeah, right? Or where was he from?
You talking about Kristen Kirk?
No, no, a wide receiver. The Uso
Oh, okay.
from Tate. Is it Tate
Oh,
McClure?
Tet McMillan. Tet McMillan.
There we go.
Yeah, he ended up going. Where did Tet McMillan? I forgot where he ended up going. Already, but he didn't go to the
To the
Cowboys.
Cardinals. To the Cardinals.
Oh, to the Cardinals. Oh, it's not okay. That's gonna be something.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where he went. So I mean, they had to do something, right? And this was the move that they decided to do.
Hmm.
Now, whether it works out or not,
Oh,
it'll
he
be
went to the
interesting to
Panthers,
see.
bro. He went to the
Go to
Panthers.
the Panthers. Thank you for
Yeah,
the
he went to
correction.
the Panthers. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, like if it works, we'll see. I think it's gonna be very interesting because the
Hmm.
problem was that he was, and I don't like the word to use the word like throwing tantrums and stuff because to be the number one receiver, you have to have that like that selfishness, right? Like I tie
I
it to
mean,
soccer,
call it
like
like
I
it
tie it to
is. He
football.
was throwing tantrums. I mean, it's
But
not
you
okay,
have
but
to have that, right? I feel
no,
like if you want
have
to
to
be a
throw
number one.
tantrums. I mean, I get what you're trying to say. Like, to be a really good wide receiver, you gotta like show that emotion. Like when you're not getting the ball, you gotta let people know, like, hey, I'm him. Get me the ball.
Hmm.
But the way that he was going about it, sometimes it was kind of like too far. It was um, like fight, like just literally throwing tantrums on mid play, walking off the field, like, and on top of that, I don't even think he's like the best route runner. He's freaky athletic and all that, but some of the stuff didn't warrant that.
Yeah, well, it didn't warrant it maybe like as big as he did it, but for me at least, I like to see that. But
Mm-hmm.
there has to be some kind of restraint for sure. You can't be doing it every single game. You have to, and then also like if you get the opportunity, you can't miss, right? You
Right.
can't fumble the ball, right? You cannot get that catch because if you start not getting that catch, well then hey, like we're not going to pass you the ball the whole time. So
Exactly.
there's that. But so we'll see. It's very interesting because his thing was he wanted to be a number one. The Steelers got DK Metcalf. Obviously, DK is the number one. Pickens, gets traded away. It could have been contract issues, right? I think he's up for a new contract this year. It's going to be interesting to see if he's okay being this number two to Judy, because Judy's the number one on Dallas for sure, right?
You
That's
talk about
not.
uh not Judy, CD Lamb.
Oh, you're right. CD
Yeah,
Lamb.
CD
I
Lamb. CD
apologize.
Lamb. Yeah.
CD Lamb. Um, CD Lamb is the number one for Dallas. So
Yeah.
Pickens
So
is number two.
right.
Can he handle
And
that?
and that's the thing, right? So this is the thing, right? This is the does does George Pickens make the Cowboys better? Yes. I think from a paper standpoint, just from talent standpoint, he makes the Cowboys better on the field, right? But there's things that come along with that. George Pickens is also George Pickens. Um, yeah, I was reading of a I don't know how true this is, but I was reading a report when they were
Allegedly.
there was a number there was a number of teams who came out and laughed at the idea of adding George Pickens to their locker room because they know what type of guy this is. Like we know Pickens is super talented, right? We know he has crazy athleticism. His catch radius is off the charts. He can work a little bit more on his route running, but if you put the ball in his vicinity, he's going to go up and get it, right? We know that. But what comes along with like he's also the like what is it? The quintessential idea framework of when you say a diva wide receiver, that's him. Because when things aren't going his way, he shuts down. He goes another route and he just goes crazy and he lets everybody know about it. But the thing that I take heed of with the Cowboys is this, right? He's entering the last year of his deal. It doesn't look like the cow from the reports I've seen and the way George Pickens is going into it. It doesn't look like they're going to offer him a extension before the season starts, right?
Mhm.
So they're going to wait until most likely to after the season,
Mhm.
where he can possibly walk, right? So you get into that. If he plays well, are like let's say he goes off and he gets 1,100 yards, 80 catches, and he does great in like 7, 8 touchdowns, right? Are
Mhm.
you going to pay him that $30 million, a year price when you still have yet to pay Micah Parsons? Next offseason, you're going to have to pay Micah Parsons because you can't wait any longer. He's doesn't have any more years left on his deal, right? On top of
Mhm.
that, Dak is being paid all this money. He's being paid the top player in the league right now, and his and they restructured it so that it's even more money next year. So they're backloading it even more, right? So you're paying Dak, you got to pay Micah Parsons. If he plays well, you're looking at around $30 million for George Pickens, right? I don't know if that's going to be possible, right? Because I don't know who else they got to pay and what the cap's going to look like next season. The cap might go up, but also the demand of what these players are asking for might go up as well. So it's like you're okay. So he plays well. So now you're in a financial crazy hole because you might have to pay him if he plays well. If he plays bad, you're going to let him walk. So it's like you're essentially renting
Mhm.
him for one season because I
Mhm.
don't see them paying him if he plays well. And if he plays
Mhm.
bad, I don't see them keeping him. So
Mhm.
it's like, what's the point of trading for him if you're only going to have him for 1 year? What's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is really the point? Pickens isn't a guy who's going to want to. I don't see Pickens as somebody who's going to want to take a pay cut. He's
No.
he's he's still on his rookie contract. He's going to want to get his second contract is when they get paid. NFL players get their most money on their second contract if they're good. That's when you
Mhm.
get paid. He's going to want to get paid, rightfully so. So
I
it,
wonder if he, because I feel like he has to understand that as well, right? And let's
yeah,
be honest, he hasn't had the best years either. He's had decent, like okay, solid years. He hasn't had
hmm
a great year. So this is a new situation, new team, gets to kind of start fresh. Maybe he can make a better image of himself this year, right? Not come off as such a diva. Even though, again, I don't like using that word because I know I can understand why some players get upset about that, but at least the antics, I'll say antics on the
yeah,
sideline. Um, but he has to also understand that if he wants that money, he has to show for it. So this is kind of like a 1 year where look, you are on a solid team. You're gonna have moments where you're gonna be open because the other team defense is gonna be focused on CD Lamb. So like these are gonna be moments where you're gonna need to shine, right?
right,
You need to have those T Higgins types of games where you can still go off and go for over 100 receiving yards. And you're
Right.
not doing it necessarily to stay maybe on the Cowboys, but like you said, you're doing it so you can secure that bag for whichever team, would need a wide receiver next
Yeah, and it the trade makes sense on the field. It's the off the field things that don't kind of make sense for me. Like
Also,
how I just
oh,
said with the money.
mhm.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you if you think, because um, I think you would have a good perspective from the value of how good the coaching needs to be. This is a brand new coach, never coached in
Yeah,
the
that's what.
NFL.
Yeah.
What do you think about that in terms of maybe having to handle this situation?
So that's an interesting point because you kind of have like if we know who Mike Tomlin is, right? Mike Tomlin is Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
He's probably going in the Hall of he's I think he should be in the Hall of Fame at some point. I don't know if he's
one
first
hundred
ballot, but
percent. He's
he's
never
in the
won Coach
talks.
of the Year. He's never won
He's in the
Coach of the Year, but it
which
should
is
go.
crazy because he's always had his team in the playoffs.
We
Um,
talked about
but
this. Yeah,
but if Mike Tomlin doesn't want you, multiple reports came out and they were saying that Mike Tomlin was the head of this of getting George Pickens out the team. If Mike Tomlin has dealt with the most craziest wide receivers that I have ever seen a coach go through. Antonio Brown, Martavius Bryant, the we had Martavius Bryant. Who else?
Juju.
Um, Juju Smith-Schuster, not to mention the running back Le'Veon Bell, but all the stuff that he has had to gone through with these players. And you reach the point with Mike Tomlin where he's like, all right, bro, you got to go. And you go to a team with a head coach who's never been a head coach in this league before, and it's like you got George Pickens. I could just imagine, bro, like George Pickens just throwing a fit, bro. Like it's I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but talent wise on the field, it makes sense because George Pickens can take all the deep routes. You could throw it up to him. He could take all the one-on-ones, whatever it is, deep. And CD Lamb could come across the middle, the slants, the medium routes, the comeback routes. That's all CD Lamb. That makes sense, right? But it's the off the field things. This is attitude. It's the type of person he is. It's the money side as well for the Cowboys. Like I don't see how this can end well, even if he has a really good season.
Yeah, it's
So
not his ability to play, but it's his
yeah, it's not
willingness to be a team player.
exactly.
And
Well
in this,
said.
we'll see. And we'll
Well
see.
said. Well said. We'll see.
Um, we'll
I,
see.
I also wanted to talk about real quick Jadeveon Clowney because he was
Okay.
recently released today.
Mhm.
And I know my team, we are in the business for edge rusher. I think
Yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney is going to get picked up by somebody at some point, right?
Hmm.
Is he top tier edge rusher? No, but he's solid, right? He's coming off of what a season last year. How many sacks did he have? 5 or 6? He's had 9.5 sacks a few times in his career. He's never had 10 sacks, but he had 9.5 a few times. He's a solid starting defensive end in this league. He's a middle of the pack, like somewhere between 17 to like top 17, top 20, top 21 starting defensive ends in this league. And somebody's going to get him. And I know he's been on a lot of teams, but everywhere he's went, he's played a lot of games. He's usually around the 16, 17 games per season. He doesn't really get injured a lot. Well, I take that back actually because he did get injured in with the when he was with the Texans and a little bit after that. But when he's on the field, he's really solid. He's solid against the run. And he's like a for hire to get after the quarterback. He's like a for hire defensive end. Like you need to bring him in. You like if he's going to join your team, he's going to go to one of the teams who don't have any pass rushers or have limited pass rushers, and you bring him in strictly on third downs just to rush the quarterback, or third and long, or second and long, just to get after the quarterback. In obvious passing situations, you bring in Jadeveon Clowney, rush the quarterback. That's his specialty. That's all you're paying him for, right? So I think he
Yeah.
will be teams like that really need him, like the Commanders. I think he'll be a good fit. Me personally, I want Zadarius Smith because he's still out there. I think Zadarius Smith is more. Um, I think he's on the same level in terms of pass rush, but I think he's a little bit better run stopper than Jadeveon Clowney is, in my opinion, and he's a little bit more consistent with health wise as well. So I just wanted to put that out there because this is something interesting. Because as we get into the off season and get closer to training camp, you'll start to see as teams develop and look at their rookies and be like, okay, this rookie he's starting. I can go ahead and let go of this veteran and and release him so he can go somewhere else. We'll start to see a lot of other teams release players and players become available, and it's going to be interesting to see who picks up who.
Or trade players. Yeah, so Jadavion Clowney last year he had 24 solo tackles, 22 assists, 46 total, 5.5 sacks. He sacked a total for 49 yards, and he had 9 tackles for a loss, which was the
Mm,
most on the Panthers. So I mean,
yeah,
he's good, right? He's solid.
yeah,
Um, a solid veteran piece to have in there.
right.
And I would agree with everything you said.
And
I could see him definitely going to Washington.
yeah, and we desperately need one, man. We need somebody. I
Mhm.
know we've been linked to Zadarius Smith and Von Miller. I don't want Von Miller at this point. The one I want is Zadarius Smith. I would rather none of them. I would rather we would have drafted Donovan as a Rocco or whatever. But I understand the way the chips fell. That just wasn't in the plan, right? So
Yeah.
we need somebody because who we have in this room is very, very mediocre, to say the least.
Mhm.
Jacob Martin, he's not a bad player, but to ask him to come in and fill the role as our premier edge rusher is kind of asking him a lot. He hasn't had more than 5 sacks a season, so that's you asking him to do something that he hasn't done. He's probably not comfortable with trying to prove to the world that he can do. But
You know how
we I
much
think
cap space you guys have?
I
Because I
don't
think
I
that
don't know how
that would
much.
be.
I think we still have a good amount. I think we do still have a good amount. It's the draft picks for us that we kind of lacking, and we kind of don't want to. We kind of don't have that uh those draft capital because we used it on Laramie
Okay.
Tunsil, Debo Samuel, Marshawn Lattimore, but Jadeveon Clowney, I think we're going to get somebody. We're going to bring in a veteran edge rusher. We didn't even draft the edge rusher. We didn't even pick up an undrafted free agent edge rusher. So
Hmm.
we're going to I feel like one of these guys is going to have to end up with us, but that's here nor
I'm
there.
looking up how much did Joey Bosa go for. So
I
Joey
didn't want
Bosa
Joey.
landed. He got signed by the Bills this year for
Yeah,
12.6. So I mean, Jadavion Clowney 10 or
yeah,
11 mil.
yeah. Solid. 10 million.
Hmm.
That's
Do you
solid.
guys have that?
I think we do. I think we do have it.
Okay.
I mean, going into the offseason, we had like one of the most money, and we didn't spend it on a lot of people. I mean, we gave Debo 17 million for 1 year, so that took a chunk out of this year. Laramie Tunsil, I don't think we gave Laramie Tunsil a new contract yet, but I would have to look at that. I would
Oh,
have to
his
see
old
how
one
much
is
how much
his
money.
old one. His old
Yeah,
one I
but
know was pretty big.
yeah.
But yeah,
I also
okay,
wanted to,
okay.
I wanted to talk to
Go
you
ahead.
about this too.
Hmm.
And you can I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna give you some time to look up some people who you think could fall into this category as well. But I wanted to
Okay.
talk about out of all the players who were traded this offseason, who do you think will have the biggest impact going into the 2025 season? I'm gonna go first.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go first,
Hmm.
and it's your boy Debo Samuel. And I know, listen, I know if
Hmm.
you look at all the people who were traded this offseason, I think
Hmm.
he will be the biggest impact. And this is why. Uh, he's never played with a quarterback of this caliber. And I know it sounds like I'm glazing because this is my team, but I'm serious. He's never played with a quarterback who can extend plays like this. And when you got to key in on Jaden Daniels escaping the pocket and Terry McLaurin, you can't double Debo. If you Debo's going to find space. All we need Debo to do is catch the ball and get into space, and he turns into a running back, right? So I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at the type of numbers and the type of year that Debo Samuel has. And I'm ready to. I'm just waiting, man. What you think? You think I'm tripping, or you think I got some truth to that?
Hmm. 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 Um, I think he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the list of like where people went and stuff.
Another
Um,
person though
yeah.
that while you looking at the list,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna pull up this as well. But another person that I think could have a year that people kind of, I feel like people are sleeping on him, um, is Geno Smith.
Mm,
I think Geno could really have a solid year, with the Raiders. I really do. I think he's going to
yeah.
surprise people. Him just changing the scenery everywhere he's went. I feel like he played with the Jets and then he went to the Seahawks. I can't remember if he played with anybody before the Seahawks. But I really think with him, Genty, Brock Bowers,
Yeah.
and they have a pretty solid defense, the Raiders are going to be better this year. The
Mhm.
Raiders are
Mhm.
for sure
Mhm. Mhm.
going to be better this year, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can do because I can't remember the last good quarterback the Raiders had. I mean, Derek Carr was Derek Carr. I don't even know if Derek Carr was a good quarterback. I know he had like good moments, but I don't know if I
Mhm.
guess you could say he was good. I guess Derek Carr was a good, you could say he was a good quarterback, but I don't know if he was like top 10. I think Geno Smith's got some stuff he still got to prove. They wrote him off and he ain't right back. So he gonna
Right back.
he ain't right back. But I think people sleeping on him, man. I really do. Another
I
player,
would.
bro, is
Go ahead.
go
Uh
ahead.
huh. No, no. You go ahead. Finish your point. I'm
No,
gonna get
another
down
player I
this
was
list
saying
here.
that in terms of having an impact in 2025 out of the players that was traded this offseason is also Laramie Tunsil. I almost forget that we traded for Laramie Tunsil because I
Mhm.
like Debo is such a eye candy type player for me. Like you
Mhm.
know the name, he's a bigger star, and Laramie Tunsil plays on the line, but he is Laramie Tunsil might have a really big year, man. He might have a really big year with Jaden Daniels, and we're gonna see though. I mean, all this is speculation. Of course, I keep saying this is my team, so I gotta kind of feel this way. But out of
Mhm.
all the
Mhm.
players, like this is the list of players who were traded: Geno Smith, Laramie Tunsil, Joe Thuney, Jonah Jackson, George Pickens, DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel, Jordan Mason, Chauncey Gardner Johnson, um, Kenneth Murray,
Mhm.
and Christian Kirk, and some other players. But out of those players, like none of them really moved the needle for me. I mean, DK Metcalf, I think, can have a really big impact, especially with George Pickens leaving. He's the only number one wide receiver they have. So I
Yeah.
expect him to really be up there and putting up some numbers. But
You said
I
DK,
mean,
right?
what? Yeah, DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
what was stopping him from putting up top tier numbers for the Seahawks? He had Geno.
Yes. He
Geno
has.
Smith isn't a bad quarterback when it comes to passing.
No, but
D,
they were really trying to use Jackson Smith McDibba. Uh,
but
like
that
they
should
wanted
open.
him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, DK Metcalf is another big athletic wide receiver, right? But I've said this before. I don't think DK really plays to his size. He's really big.
Mhm.
He's tall. He's athletic, but I don't see him like I just don't. I want him to be like a Megatron. Like I want you to be able to throw it up to DK, and he's like he gonna be catching it. Like I don't really see him play to his size like that, man. I just be watching him from the eye test. Like
Yeah.
he should be dominating. Like he should be top 3 wide receivers every year off of just athleticism and size and mindset, right? But there's some areas that he can improve, and hopefully he improve on them in Pittsburgh, man. That he get his route running under control, and that's really what he need to work on, his route running, his the fluidity of it.
Are
And
you are you are you counting if people resigned with their original team?
no,
Are you
I'm just talking about trades. So I'm just talking about trades like
trades
this
or
this
free
offseason.
agents
So it
or
wasn't
just trades
really
or free agents?
just trades. Just trades.
Okay. So that's
But I
it.
mean, if you want to go into free agents, that's fine with me. Like we could talk about that too. We could talk about some free
Well, just
agents
because
that you
like
got.
I'm just scrolling through some of these names and everything, and
Mm,
to Debo Samuel, I would say, well, I would look at DK, right?
hmm
Also, but like the thing that I would give the edge on Debo would be that Debo has a proven starting like top tier quarterback, right? The Steelers don't even know who their quarterback is yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, so yeah,
Debo's with the offensive genius, considered one of the offensive geniuses in the league. So you know Cliff Kingsbury is going to draw up something to get him the ball. But yeah, but
yeah, but yeah.
I see DK though. I mean, I don't disagree with you. Like DK
Mhm.
is definitely one of those ones to watch because now he is the focal point of the offense. But what comes with that is when you playing teams, they know like, okay, we just got to stop DK. Um, but we will really see DK's true colors this season if he's really a top tier wide receiver because he is going to be the focal point of that offense for sure.
Mhm.
For sure.
I would say another pickup that I think no that has gone pretty quiet. Devontae Adams. I think Devontae
Mm,
Adams to the Rams. I mean Adams and Puka Nakua, right? That's
yeah.
if those two can get if they can get in rhythm and everything, and
Oh
then
yeah. They
I
gonna
like
be
my big
nasty.
boys. You know how I like my big boys. So got mad respect for them. I think one couple that are getting maybe overlooked with the headlines is definitely the guy that the Patriots picked up, right? That
hmm
defensive tackle, that young guy. But I would
Hey,
say
also, no, go
the
ahead. My
Chiefs,
bad.
the guy that the Chiefs re-signed, Pino, Pino, because I see that he is. I know he's an important piece to that Chiefs offensive line that has
Yeah.
been reshaped and revamped quite a bit. So I think that it's interesting because yeah, I would say DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, and Pinal could be ones that could maybe outshine, but it's interesting that the ones that would compete against them are on your team, the Washington and Debo and Larry Tunsil, because they could also have a big impact. Um, but I don't know. There's another side to that coin, and I don't want to jinx your team, but Debo has been, has had some wear and tear, let's say,
hmm
and
Yeah,
Larry
for sure.
Tunsil, I don't know. He has a lot to prove. Maybe this was a good wake up call. Maybe he got too comfortable down in here in Houston. So maybe this is a sign for him to like, hey, you have a great opportunity to make it right to the Super Bowl and
Mm,
everything, or at least be in contention for it. So, but he had that a little bit in Houston. So let's
hmm
let's see what they make of that.
Yeah, and for, in terms of like also Stephon Diggs, right? So I from what
Mm,
I've been seeing recently, from what I've been seeing
still not
recently,
sold. Still
the
not sold on that,
Patriots,
bro.
but the the Patriots have been talking a little bit about Stephon Diggs. They really are liking his recovery from his ACL injury. From what I've heard, like
Yeah.
they really been coming out and saying like, okay, and he's been actually been putting in the work this off season, like to get back. And I think he's going
Mhm.
to be for sure, like a number one option for y'all wide receiver, right?
I hope.
He's
I
who
hope.
you guys, who else is going to be like
We don't
that
got a
guy at wide
sure number one.
receiver?
We don't
Yeah,
have one.
he is going to be him. And I think him coming into that situation, like he understands that, right? So um this is going to be something uh very interesting to at least I think he's going to have a good season for sure. But moving on though, I also
Mhm.
wanted to mention, there was an announcement, um,
Yeah.
you know, the draft 2027. We got
Okay, okay. I thought that
yeah,
was in the
yeah.
I thought that was the announcement that he was talking about.
Nah, we got the draft coming 2027, man.
Oh, in 2 years. In two
In
years.
2
Okay.
years. And it's crazy because it's been I understand that you've seen it, everybody probably seen it, but people have been talking about this and we're forgetting, like we're all kind of overlooking where the draft is next year. Like I don't even remember where is the draft next year?
Pittsburgh.
Like Pittsburgh, like so that just goes to show you how much of when you remove the toxic in your organization, you really like in terms of the NFL at least and the NBA, your organization really takes a next turn, bro. We removed our owner 2 years ago, and in 2 years terms, we got a new owner, we got a really good GM, we got a good head coach, good offensive coordinator, good quarterback, made the NFC Championship, getting a new stadium, bringing the draft back to the city. And all this stuff happened right after we got rid of our owner, right? So that
Mhm.
just goes to show you how these owners really be messing these organizations up, and they don't really. I don't know if they don't really care or they don't know what they're doing, but once you remove the owner that don't know what they're doing with somebody who's competent, everything will fall into place. But they're talking
Yeah.
about breaking records with this draft. Like people talking about having 1 million people coming up here, and they're getting prepared to have millions of people. So it's the highest I think. What the most people in the draft I think was this past draft. I think it was the Green Bay one where they had like 600,000 or 700,000 people out there.
Do you think more people are
Um,
going to show up to the draft than to the March on Washington?
you talking about the Million Man March? Oh, you talking about the March on
Uh,
which
yeah.
March on Washington you talking about? You talking about the one happened in 2020?
No, I'm talking about a history guy. I'm talking
Oh,
about I had a dream.
I don't even remember how many people was out there. I don't think it's gonna be that
Oh
many,
man. Okay.
but it might, bro. I'm telling you, the whole city is coming out for this draft.
Okay.
It's on the mall right in front of the Capitol. Like this is
Hmm.
about to be crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. But
Fair,
if
fair.
you ain't got nothing else to say, we can move on to basketball.
Just it was 250,000 people were at that March on Washington.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's gonna be more than that for sure.
okay, okay.
For sure.
Uh, I'm just trying to think. No, because there hasn't been too much. I still think there's a lot of good pieces, and we briefly
Hmm.
talked about some of them. Now, what's going to be interesting is to see, excuse me, um, how teams deal with with the last part, the last step, because they've picked the main people they've wanted. Have tried to the people
Hmm.
they didn't pick, they tried to fix it through the draft. So now the last part is see what areas maybe you can improve here slightly if you have the cap space, number one. And two, see who they kind of choose. Because I still think there's some pretty good veterans out there, but
Yeah.
those will probably get signed. I don't expect those to get signed until I don't know, like early July, like late
Yeah,
June,
yeah.
early July, around
They're
there.
gonna wait. They're gonna wait late into the off season, like closer to
Mhm.
like when training camp and stuff starts, because that's just what makes sense financially
Yeah, yeah.
wise.
All
But
right,
yeah,
let's go ahead and let's move on to basketball. The NBA. It's cooking right now. It is.
yes, sir, yes,
It
sir.
is cooking. What game do you want to talk first?
It's on the screen, my boy. Celtics
Okay.
Knicks. Celtics Knicks,
All right.
man. Let's transfer into basketball, man. This series is getting kind of crazy, bro. For real, these playoffs been turning up. Um,
Yeah.
these playoffs have been turning up with these game winners they've been having. But
And the deficits, the
is it
comeback. I
is
have
it
not remembered
yeah.
when teams have been down 20, 25 points or whatever the case is, in between at
Mm-hmm.
least 15 to 23, they're down. They're getting the butts kicked all the way through the third. And then for some reason, there's like there's like that comeback and it gets super close towards the end. Like I feel that has happened every game and all that. But yeah, the Knicks, man, man, what you're the coach for Boston. What are you doing? Your team has shot. I don't know. Its shooting percentage is what 30% from the three. They're shooting, not the
Man,
best.
when
You
it
you still
comes,
telling them to shoot or what?
I'm not changing a thing. And the reason why I'm not changing the thing is I really don't think the Pacers is beating the Celtics. I just don't see it. I just
The
feel like
Knicks.
the Celtics, I feel like the Celtics really been on cruise mode, bro. I feel like they really about to turn up now. Like they getting into their mode next game. And
Hmm.
I can't do they
Hmm.
play? Do they play tonight? Who played
No,
tonight?
the
I
only
can't remember who
that
played.
is Golden State versus Minnesota, but Golden State has lost Curry for at least a week. So
Oh, he's lost Curry for at least a week. Okay.
hamstring level 1 injury.
Okay. But
Yeah. Yeah.
man,
So you
these
wouldn't change a thing. You're
I
Boston.
wouldn't
You tell them, hey, continue to shoot, even though again, I just
look
looked at the number.
because when they
Their
start falling, they
shooting
gonna
percentage was
fall.
25 from three, 25%. You
Look,
tell them keep
The
shooting.
Timberwolves are shooting terrible too. I think they like what, like 13 for 72 or some shit like that. They shot the
Yeah.
worst in NBA history from the percentage so far in these playoffs. The worst. So
17. Yeah, I stand
they,
corrected. You're
I
right.
don't. I mean, all they got to do is continue to play that game, bro. Because once they start falling, because they gonna start falling.
Hmm.
You just got to stay consistent. But I truly don't believe the Celtics is losing this series. I think they have more talent. Um, but you got to get, man, them clutch moments. You got to get a ball to Jaylen Brown, bro. Stop giving the ball to
Ooh.
Jason Tatum in the clutch. Like I understand he's good and he's also clutch, but Jaylen Brown, like Jason Tatum, I'm gonna be honest. Jason Tatum is the best player on this team. He's the best player
Hmm.
on the team. But that doesn't mean you have to take the last shot. That doesn't mean you have to make the comeback plays. When it's crunch time and you need a bucket, I feel like Jaylen Brown is that person. Feed him the ball, bro. He's going to get you to where you need to get to. But I still think Jason Tatum is the better overall player. But at the end of the day, I think the Celtics are going to take this series. I think it's possible they go on a 4-game winning streak and end the series. I'm just not sold on the Knicks yet. I don't know what it is about the Knicks, but I'm not sold on them 100%, bro. They got to show me for real. But I ain't nobody. They ain't that technically got to show me shit, but they kind of got to show me, bro, because I just don't believe in them yet. I got to see it. I got to see it. But especially with Cat, man, he too inconsistent. But
I'll tell you
but
this.
we
For
but
me,
we gonna see though.
I would agree with you. I agree with you in the fact that Jason Tatum needed to maybe pass the ball off a little bit earlier, or at
Yeah,
least like the moment he lost handle of it, he tried to then do like a step back, and when he realized like there was three people on him, then he tried to pass it out, and by then it's too late because there was only like I think like 3 seconds left when he tried to pass it out or 2.5. Um,
Yeah.
Especially if you got Jaden Brown, right? Or I mean, at least like something
Hmm.
that I always do when I played. Um, like it's simple math. If you see three people, one, two, three, right there in your area, someone is open, right? Now, I think the Celtics got a little too comfortable. They don't they or maybe Missoula needed to call the timeout. Again, hindsight is 2020 because they
Right.
did have a timeout to give. The moment the moment Jason Tatum lost control of that ball, the moment he got that ball, he should have called a timeout. That's either the coach or the player because he would have at
Yeah.
least if they would have gotten the if he would have called a timeout, they would have at least had 4 seconds. Granted, not a lot of time, but at least you get one play that you can draw up and maybe get a shot either to Jaden Brown or Jason Tatum. But man, they broke down mentally with that, with not using that timeout in that moment. And to the Knicks, I saw this last year, and I'm seeing it again. But it all comes down, and it all comes. It's like the aura comes to Jalen Bronson. They seem to play gritty, right? Like they don't care. They're gonna play to the very end. They don't seem to give up. I don't see shoulders down. Excuse me. I don't see shoulders down. I don't see like when you're in the game, the body language is extremely powerful.
Right.
And for the Boston Celtics players, some of the body language didn't seem like they were in a state of urgency, whereas the Knicks, they kind of are playing like every game is the last one. And so that's something that I've noticed in this series so far. And we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
Boston can do it. They got the like you said, they got the players. They can this if there's one
Hmm.
team that can come back, it could be them. So yeah. Uh, what do you think about Pacers versus the Cavs?
Yeah, man. The Pacers, that's another series that's like,
Is
I don't see the
Halliburton overrated? Do you consider him overrated?
he said overrate that. But I honestly don't see the Cavs losing. I don't. Um, Now, granted, Pacers have been playing tremendous basketball this playoffs, and they've been surprised me a lot. But I just I can't see it. We get so caught up in teams going down 0-2. I've seen it over and over again where they win. You can win two games like that, and now the
Mhm.
tables have turned. And also Darius Garland has been out. I don't know if he's gonna play for game three, but shit, if you got a toe injury, you better suit up for game three. Your team down 0-2. You gotta fight through it. You know what I'm saying? Your team needs you. Y'all down 0-2. If you go down 0-3, it's over with. Ain't no coming back.
Yeah,
But um, with that being said, you got to give the props to the Pacers, man. Tyrese is silencing these haters, but I will say before that shot, I think he had only about 14, 15 points. But it was the play that mattered the most. So
yeah.
the Cavs, I mean, Donovan Mitchell's been going off. He's had two 40-point games, I think, in this series so far. So it's they just need more help from the other
And
guys, and they got to get it together, especially like Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley at this point should be taking over games. Like
he's injured.
he's that type of. Oh, he's been injured this series.
Hmm.
He's been out too.
Hmm.
Oh, no wonder they losing. I'm like, wait a second. I ain't
And
been.
DeAndre Hunter, for what it's worth, I
Oh,
think he.
DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley, and Darius Garland. Oh, they all out. So is Evan Mobley like done for the series? Like, is he
No, he is day to day. That's
day today? Man, how about DeAndre Hunter? Because
he
we
is day to day, but like with the key that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like as of today, DeAndre Hunter, Mobley, day to day, Darius Garland for sure out as of today.
They got to get them guys back healthy, bro. Because Donovan Mitchell is doing his best to keep these
Yeah.
dudes in the game, but it's not enough. But I don't I don't know what it is about the Pacers. I'm not sold on them, bro. Like they don't move the needle for me. And Tyrese Halliburton, man, that was a big shot. Props to you. Uh, crazy shot, like clutch shot, but he don't move the needle for me either. Like I just don't. He's a good
Mm.
player. Don't get me wrong, but he's more the middle of the pack type type of starters for me or his position. I don't see him up there with like any of the good guards Steph Curry or the guard that played for Timberwolves. I can't remember his name right now. It's a lot of good guards that I put above Tyrese
Anthony Edwards.
Halliburton, but Anthony Edwards, like I feel like there's a gap between those type of guys and Tyrese Halliburton. But I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, he kind of shut us all up, all his haters up with that shot. So for me, I'm just not sold on the Pacers, especially finding out that the Cavs, a lot of their starters are out, and a lot of their role
Mhm.
play, like Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter, Darius Garland, those are key pieces. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if they playing, I'm thinking we looking at because I haven't really been watching this series. So in my back of my head, I'm like, damn, they down 0-2 with Evan Mobley and Darius Garland. And I'm like, bro, what? And then we find out they injured. It's like, oh, it makes sense now. But I don't know, bro. I still think the Cavs have a good chance to win this series. At least if they can get one of those guys back. At least one.
Yeah, they definitely need the whole team. Like you said, Donovan Mitchell trying to do everything he can. I'll go on the other end though with Halliburton. I like the dude. I think he's still young.
Yeah.
He's still young. He hasn't had as much time as Anthony Edwards or SGA. But I think he is coming into his own. I I like the Pacers. They got a solid core. They got a solid team. I really like the coach, and I think they're a team that can make it. Like they're the team that could win against and get to the championship. But I don't think that they can take on any team in the West. You
Mm,
know, like I think they can for sure beat the conference team. Boston would be a great series to watch. But then, like, if they would have to go up against like Anthony Edwards or OKC, I don't know if they could.
right.
But I will say this about the Pacers. I think the biggest player to that team, well, besides Halliburton, and he needs to like have that mentality. I think last year it was a little bit inconsistent, and he didn't want to be the main. He didn't want to be
Yeah.
selfish, but now he's feeling himself. But is Miles
Miles. Yep.
Turner? I
Yeah.
love that basketball player. Let me tell you,
He's
when
a
he was a free agent, I wanted the Clippers to sign him so bad. Um, but that dude's loyal, but he can do everything. Uh,
yeah.
so they got a great team. They can compete amongst the best, and we'll see how that series goes. Did you want to say, since we were talking, we mentioned Anthony Edwards? Do you want to say anything about the Golden State Wolves game, even though Stephen Curry is out, and that's probably going to be a wrap for that series?
Yeah, I did want to bring this up because I don't know if it's a wrap. I don't know if it's a wrap for this series. I mean, when last time I checked, the Timberwolves was up on the Pacers by like 10. Yeah, they're up on the Pacers by 14 right now at the end of the
Up
first
on the
quarter.
Golden State.
But the Warriors played like they gave a valiant effort without Steph last game. I mean, when he went down, guys stepped up. Draymond hit like 4 threes in a row.
Mhm.
They still got
Buddy Hield,
I just can't remember.
Jimmy
Buddy
Butler,
Hield had a pretty good game. I can't remember nobody's name. They still got
hmm
a dude that brought the Heat to the finals 2 times, Jimmy Butler. That's his
Jimmy.
name.
Mhm.
So it's still an interesting series. But the Timberwolves, bruh. The Timberwolves should make it to. It should be the OKC. It should be OKC and Timberwolves. If we going off talent and who should be there, the Warriors shouldn't be. they shouldn't beat the Timberwolves even with Steph. And I love Steph. Steph is a generational player. He's the best point guard I've ever seen in my life. He's probably the best point guard ever, right? Even though he plays like a shooting guard, he's not a true point guard. But they don't have a real big man. The Timberwolves are drastically like bigger than the Warriors are. And they've shot the ball. They're one of the better 3-point shooting teams in this league. And they have size and athleticism, and they have good defense. They're one of the better defensive teams in the league. So with all that being said, the Timberwolves matter of fact, since the All-Star break, the Timberwolves has been like one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in the league, offensively and defensively. So with all that being said, the Timberwolves should win this series pretty handily. Even if Steph go off for 40 a game, the Timberwolves should still win. They have the talent, they have the size, they have the defense. Rudy Gobert, there should be nobody down low stopping Rudy Gobert from getting rebounds. There should be nobody down low from stopping Rudy Gobert from getting offensive rebounds. There's nobody on the Warriors that really pose that threat. But you know what the Warriors have though that you cannot quantify? Championship experience. That's what they have, and you cannot quantify it. They got Draymond Green, who may know what type of play they running, who knows how to get into players' heads, who knows how to coach up the younger players on their team to get them to play better than they actually are. And it's kind of sucks that Steph Curry had to go down because the defense that they played with the 2 nights ago against the Timberwolves, when I was watching that game, was crazy, bro. Like their defense looked elite. But with that being said, it's also another side of the coin, right? I mean, Timberwolves have been shooting the ball terrible all playoffs. Like they've been on a historic, terrible 3-point shooting team, and they're not going to stop taking them. They're going to continue to shoot them things. So this is an interesting series, even without Stephen Curry being out. Well, he'll come back though eventually, at some point.
Well, that's the thing. The team needs to hold on until he comes back. And I apologize if I look a little sleepy. I went to bed late last night, but I am definitely not, because this game, man, this Golden State game, this conversation. Whenever I talk about Stephen Curry, it's like a love-hate relationship. One being a guy from Ohio, right? Even though
he was born in Ohio, right?
No, I was not born. I was raised.
I'm saying though, Steph Curry was born in Ohio.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that. But watching the battle between him and LeBron, and he is the guy that, to talk in wrestling terms real quick, he was the guy for me that started off as a heel and then became the face, right? People hated him. He was a bad guy. He's ruining the NBA. He's coming in here just jacking up threes. That's all I'm watching. You can't win that way. And now he has 4 championships. He's a guy. He's a great guy. He's done it the right way. And I've grown to love him as a player. And you said it best. He's definitely probably one of the best shooters of all time. He is probably one of the best point guards of all time. Only person that I can see rivaling him was Kyrie in his prime. But without them, I don't see them winning. They're not winning. I'm sorry. It's I don't see Draymond making those threes consistently. But if he can have those games, because he did good when he played in Sacramento, I don't know if he can have it consistently. The only way they can make it is if Jimmy Butler shows up, and like you said, the Jimmy that was able to carry the Heat team to the playoffs, right? If that's the Jimmy they get, then yeah, they can make it. But he needs to find that anger, which I think he does, or that flame, and I think he does, because he used to play for Minnesota. The him exiting from there was not the best, or at least it was not handled the best. So I think some fans don't have a good view of him, of his time there. So
they hate him, and they hate him in Minnesota.
Exactly.
They
So
they
if he
was they
can
was booing him
draw,
every time.
if he can like feed off of that, like how Michael Jordan said, I took that personally. Then that's what he needs. He needs to
Right.
take that shit personally, and he needs to show up. So, but we'll
Facts.
see.
Fact.
We will see. Last game,
Yo,
Nuggets versus OKC. The
Nuggets.
beatdown. Oh
This
my
is
god. Oh,
this is one of my favorites. Like all these series are good, bro. These are. I ain't gonna lie. This is like the best semifinals NBA series I've seen in a long time, a very very long time, bro. These are
yeah.
some great matchups, man. SGA. Whoo, man. We talking about MVP caliber players, man, bro. He's nasty. He's nasty, bro. The thing is with SGA is in today's NBA, all these players that I'm gonna call them out too, but all these players that they do a lot of foul baiting. Luca, I love Luca.
Mm,
He does a lot of foul baiting on offense, right?
hmm hmm
Um, um, uh, Flopping. I'm sorry, foul baiting, not
hmm
foul baiting. SGA does foul baiting, but a lot of players flop. When it comes to SGA, though, he foul baits, but he doesn't flop. If you watch the way he gets his fouls, it's strategic. He'll drive and he'll like lean into you, pump fake or something like that, or go or like he'll take an angle that's weird, get you to lean and get you to bump him as he's going up, and he'll get the foul. A lot of people will flop though, like they'll step back, shoot, kick their leg out, and you brush and it brush against the defender's leg, and then you flop over. You while you're shooting, you kind of do all that and all that movement. Um, you see it with LeBron too, and I'm not blaming nobody. You see it with a lot of players, but SGA's foul baiting is different. It's like a how do you say it? It's like a poem, bro. It's like he wrote. It's like you're reading, or he's like he discovers some new shit. I've never really seen this type of foul bait before in my eye. His shit is skilled. How he gets to the free throw line is something different, bro. It's not even like if because the players are actually fouling him. He's actually getting fouled. It's not like a man that wasn't a real foul. No, these are real fouls, but he's playing mind games with his defender because he's getting them to do what he wants them to do. And people will be like, well, SJ shoot all these free throws because he's good at drawing fouls. If I was good at drawing fouls and I'm in the NBA, I'm gonna draw fouls every time I get the ball. That's just me. I'm gonna go to the
hmm
line and get my points. And it's the name of the game now. Like you have to be able to draw fouls if you're an offensive player. You can't be going, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to get that off my chest. But in terms of this whole series, this is a great series. I still don't know who's going to be the MVP. I think SGA. I think it's leaning towards SGA. I think he might end up having it. But Jokic, I mean, he's having a crazy good season too. But that beat down yesterday, boy, that shit was crazy. That was crazy. But nah, you
Yeah.
go ahead, bro.
I would. I like how, or I find it interesting the way you viewed his foul baiting as like kind of poetic, or at least like it seems it's
Yeah,
part, or it's like in rhythm, right? It's in rhythm of the game. It's not like a choppy, jigged, or rigid type of like foul bait where it's like, oh, bro, like we can all clear it. Even though he does
yeah.
do that sometimes from the three. I think when he tries to shoot from the three, he sometimes tries to do it a little bit too much. But when he's driving in the paint, he makes it look pretty natural. Um,
It
and
looks
so
different, bro. Like I
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
I haven't seen like his balance when he drives and his ability to score and get fouled at the same time is tremendous. It's crazy.
and so this is where um will I think we'll truly see the effects of how does Denver respond without having the coach, right? Without having Malone. This is the type of situation where if you have a guy like Malone, here, how does he inspire? How does he talk to the coaches? How does he relay the message?
Facts.
All
Facts.
of that. So this is gonna be this will either be the series that proves that Denver didn't need Malone, or this will
Mm-hmm.
be the series that proves that they did need him. So we'll see how Joker reacts. Joker got fouled out. He fouled out in the third quarter. So I think that's going to be something that Joker him himself needs to be aware of. Like, dude, this team does not go without you. So you can't be fouling that much. And
Mm-hmm.
he needs to keep an eye on that for sure.
I just
Because
want to throw this out there. It
everyone's
looks
talking
like
about how he's the coach. Go ahead.
gotcha. I just want to throw this out there. It looks like the Commanders might play the Dolphins in Spain next season. So I just want to throw that out there overseas.
Ooh, okay. That's
You know,
España.
JD5, JD5. You know what I'm talking about? He about to go crazy in Spain. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, if he goes to Spain and he balls out, I'm just saying they gonna you saw what type of rookie season he had and type of clutch player he is. If he has a crazy game and he clutches up again, everyone's gonna love him over there, bro. They're gonna gravitate to a kid. So
Speaking of people loving him, uh, did you see his little double date situation? The
man, look.
allegedly his
Oh, we could
mom was
talk
in the
about that.
car.
We could talk
Eh,
about that. We could talk
eh,
about that. So his
allegedly,
mom,
allegedly.
listen, man, his mom is also his agent, and people be blowing stuff out of proportion. So, like, you can take your mom out on a date with your significant other. Like, it could be all three of y'all. Like, people so weird, bro. Like,
Yeah,
that's his agent too. Like
yeah.
a lot of players go everywhere with their agent. It's their agent. She monitors a lot of stuff that involves her son. So she's definitely going to be there with him more than any other just a regular mom. Like she's going to
Mhm.
be with her son. It's that not only that's her son, but that's his agent. She's also has his best interest. She has come out and said that she be trying to keep the girls away from him, but that's how I want my quarterback. I want my quarterback a virgin. I don't want him having no kids, no wife, no family,
Calling
no
those out.
nothing. Strictly football. We getting Super Bowls over here. That's what I want my quarterback to have. Look,
No
Mama
weak
do
legs.
your thing,
No
bro.
weak
Do
legs
your
up in here.
because
Yeah,
we don't want none
yeah.
of that. We want
Hell
wins
yeah,
right now. Keep them on a
yeah.
straight and narrow. So hey,
I'll,
y'all want to
I'll
call it
say this
weird,
to that
but
point. No. I'll
yeah,
say this. Look, and I know it sounds like I make fun. I'm making fun of it, but really, man, I respect the hell of it. Coming from someone that a lot of people know. My mom, shoot, I thought, I can understand why other people might think moms are overbearing because I'll tell you what, my mom was definitely one of those. But in hindsight, I wouldn't be where I am without her if she
facts.
wasn't around, like willing to go
Look,
find me, at a bar or whatnot and say, "Mijo, you're coming home right now," or type of
yeah,
stuff. So, hey, I got nothing but
she
respect
knows
for
her
that.
son. Like
Hey,
mothers know
respect.
their
I love
their
it.
children. Mothers know their
Yeah.
sons. They know their daughters. She's done this. She's gotten him to the NFL.
Mhm.
She knows
Mhm.
what she's doing, and it's working.
Mhm.
Let
Mhm.
it keep going, man. But people gonna talk, people gonna brush it out of her, especially them Eagles fans. You know, they can't get enough of JD5. They can't get enough of talking about Jaden Daniels. Even though they just won the Super Bowl, they cannot get enough of talking about our quarterback. They have to keep
Yeah.
because all offseason, a lot of the spotlight has been off of the Eagles and it's been about Jaden Daniels and it's been about the Commanders in general, how our organization has resurrected back to one of those top tier organizations in the NFL. And instead of the Eagles being content and just to celebrating Eagles fans, I'm sorry, being content and just celebrating their Super Bowl, they love to throw shots and make up crazy conspiracies and topics and throw little shots at us on the off season. But it's they can't it eats them up inside when they see us, being successful. But shout out to them Eagles,
Mhm.
man. I shout out to Eagles fan. Y'all won the Super Bowl. Go enjoy it, man. Go enjoy it.
Yeah.
Live y'all life, man. Live y'all Super Bowl life, bro.
Did you get a chance to see the soccer clips? That
I
soccer
did, bro.
clip
He
I
he
sent
he was he was nasty. I don't know a lot about soccer, but I know he was
No,
moving
that's
fast.
fine.
He looked like a little mini Kyrie out there, but on a soccer field.
Exactly.
That's
Hit
what
the
he looked like.
crossbar, hit the goalie in the back of the head, went in. Unfortunately,
Oh, that's
that
crazy.
team is out of the championship, out of the
Is he like
Champions
their
League.
best player, or is he just like a young
He,
phenom type player?
he's a young phenom, not the best. The best is that 17-year-old who I sent the other video of. But Rafinha did make a goal. Man, the because so in the Champions League, to kind of give you a background overview real quick, the Champions League is the league where in Europe and all the other European leagues, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
English league, the Spanish league, the top like couple teams get thrown into this lottery and they play in this league made up of the champions from all of those European leagues to see which one
Yeah,
is the best. And so, um, so that's how that goes
bro.
out. And it's just happened.
I didn't even peep the ball hit the goalie in the back of the head, bro.
Yeah. But
I didn't
we're,
even
we're
peep that.
Barcelona got knocked out. Because it's two games once it gets to like the bracket part, once they're out of like
Yeah.
the league play, and they play two games and there was an aggregate. I don't know if you know what that means.
Nah, what is it?
So
What that
so
mean?
an aggregate means like so they play two games, right? And the score gets like saved, and then in the next game they're just adding to the score of the previous game. So the first game where Barcelona faced Inter, it ended 3-3. And so then in the second game, even though it's 0-0, it's still really 3-3. And so depending how they score, that's who wins. And the
Mm,
thing was, it came down and they scored the winning was it was in the game it was 4-3 with an overall aggregate of 7-6, which was a lot of goals. It was last. Barcelona had the chance to win with 2 minutes and extra time, and they let the other team score, and then took it to overtime, and that's where the other team scored a goal and won it. And I'll tell you what, I was hell upset, man. I'm still a little upset
yeah.
about it. Me trying
I
to keep
still
my
I
composure
see
right now.
I gotta figure out because the whole football, European football and everybody else football, it's still very interesting. And I don't really know a lot about it, but I know a
Yeah.
lot of people watch it though. And it's just interesting to watch them athletes kick because I've tried to play soccer before. And I remember growing up because I remember thinking like it looks easy, right? That's what, at least to me, it looked like it was easy. But when you get out there and start playing, and it's like this is next level because it's just like all they doing is kicking it. But nah,
Yeah.
bro, they doing a lot of stuff going on, and it's a big field, and they moving fast. So
Imagine,
yeah,
like,
it's
I feel like soccer helped me a lot with basketball because it helps you with the idea. Now, basketball, it's like quick movements up and down, but you still got to think of the team and where people are at. And like you're still creating plays to set someone open. It's the same idea, just on a much larger court, right? Instead of a smaller court, you just got a big court. And they're just the whole time when they're moving the ball, they're really setting up to get someone open to like either have like a cross in or have someone
mm-hmm.
like take it from an angle to shoot. And it's just like a chess. It's really a chess game, but like the reason it just takes longer to set up on like basketball where they have 24 seconds.
Yeah,
There's no time limit on this setup.
right.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Interesting,
then
interesting.
AEW, for any wrestling fans out there, AEW's heating up. I think they got their big pay-per-view coming up here soon on the 25th.
Mhm.
Uh, I would really encourage people to watch it. I still stand on the fact that WWE has maybe a very good main story, especially with John Cena. and Paul Heyman and all that. But AEW, man, the wrestling, the talent that they have, uh, it's truly remarkable. It's truly stands out. So I highly encourage anyone to watch that. So that's pretty much all the sports I got.
Yep,
Anything
that's
else?
all I got too, man. That's pretty much everything. It was cool talking to you, Nico. We
For
will
sure.
we're gonna reconvene what next week? Next week's Thursday, same time.
Next week, Thursday, same time. I think by then the NFL schedule will be released,
NFL,
so we
yeah, we can
can.
go over the schedules. We can do the Patriots, like we can do the Commanders, and we can do
Mhm.
like pick some of our favorite games and matchups and stuff like that. Because that should be out by next Wednesday, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
next Wednesday.
Well, let's
All right.
look forward to that. See you then.
All right, bro.
Peace.
Peace out.